Just looking at my YouTube feed, and D.L. Hughley says it's Trump and Vance disrespecting Zelensky. It's terrible. It's terrible. Did anybody watch that thing? Because I feel like no one did. Maybe they watched the highlight thing, because usually a lot of these highlights you watch, right? They'll start right when Trump starts being mean, you know. You got to watch the whole thing from when he first arrives in the Oval Office, and he went there, right, to sign a peace treaty. That was the idea. That's what they hashed out. That's why he flew all the way over there, and that's what they were supposed to do. But he came there under false pretenses because he wasn't going to do that, right? So, but they didn't know this, you know. Trump might have suspected he might be a couple chess moves ahead. I had no idea, but it seemed like he was kind of blindsided by this information, and it leaked out slowly over the course of the interview. You know, they first show up. The White House had asked him to wear a suit. He did not do that. You know, he was really in good with Joe Biden. Joe Biden gave him $350 billion. Gave it to him. They don't have to pay it back. Like, Europe is funding his war too, and they've given $150 billion, or maybe just $100 billion, with a guaranteed loan. It was a loan with a guaranteed return. The United States just gave him $350 billion. He's already burned through it. There's rumors and information floating around that he may have spent it in some ways that weren't that they didn't think he was going to, but he had no conditions with what to do with the money. So, you know, Biden, that old fucking retard, just handed it to him. So yeah, they're saying they were selling some of the weapons on the black market. All kinds of shit was going on with that. There may be some yachts. It's crazy. So he blew through it. Now he's back to get more. And he never had any intention of signing the peace treaty because it would stop the money. You know, he wants the money coming in. He's not fighting in no war. That guy ain't fucking doing anything. He's not out there fucking in a foxhole. I don't even think he watches the shit on TV. Be right back. Just stopping in a Target for a second. So he's there under false pretenses to begin with. He's putting it all aside. He shows up. He doesn't have the suit on that he was requested to wear. And Trump doesn't let that go. He makes a joke of it, though. He's like, oh, he's got that suit on. Like, meaning that suit that he always wears, that military tracksuit, which is such a farce. Because this guy's nowhere near any fighting. He just wants to look tough, and Trump called him out on that later. But so he goes in there, and right away, you can tell he seems kind of anxious. Like, he's just like, it felt like me when I used to go to like my drug dealer's house, and there'd be like a bunch of people there, and I just want to get my shit and leave. He was like that, just ants in his pants, just like, I just wanted my money and then to go. I have all kinds of things I need to do. The money's already spent in his mind. He's probably got, pauper parties and all this other stuff. So, as Trump is explaining to journalists who keep asking questions to Trump, which kind of annoyed him too. He was like, I'm right here, why won't you talk to me? He kept making faces and hand gestures, like, what the fuck? And every time Trump would talk, Zelensky would roll his eyes and make faces and all this kind of shit. Now, Vance could see it because of where they were sitting, but Trump couldn't see all this shit. He was like mocking him the whole fucking time. And Trump was just being nice to him. And he'd sometimes turn to Trump and like kind of smile, like laugh, like, yeah. And then he'd go back to scowling and rolling his eyes. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? So as the meeting's going on, every time Trump would talk about signing this treaty, yeah, once this treaty's going to be signed, and people ask him, like, are you really going to sign it? And Trump was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why we're all here. If it wasn't happening, we wouldn't be here. So then Zelensky, it was basically, to long and short this fucking thing, Trump kept mentioning how good it was to sign this treaty and to stop the killing, and Zelensky kept saying, we will never surrender, we will never back down, fucking Putin fucking is this and that. And it started to get more obvious that there was something going on, that not everybody was on the same page. I think the little rat thought he could, you know, take it in front of cameras and strong-arm Trump and just giving him his money by showing him photos and talking about how bad Putin is, how evil Putin is. He had no intention. He had no intention. So Trump, like, put up with this shit for a while. Trump was kind of, you could see it at points where it kind of turned. He stopped trying to be jovial and make jokes. Even once he realized that the guy was trying to fuck him over, he still, you know, kept making jokes and smiling about it, but thinking in his mind, like, oh, this isn't, none of us signed on for this. What the fuck's going on? Like, what a little rat. But anyway, you know, hey, you know, we'll deal with that when the cameras are off. And Zelensky was just a dick to just rude and fucking pulling faces at them and like acting like, you know, he wants to get this over with. He just wants his check and fucking leave, you know. And you didn't know all this if you didn't watch the whole thing. If you just watched the highlights of mean old Trump and J.D. Vance picking on the poor, embattled man fighting for his country, which he is not doing. He's not doing any fighting. He's sitting in a hotel room with fucking cowboys. All right? In my opinion. So he's just looking to keep his Coke party going. And he's under pressure to keep this going, not just for his own benefit, but for all these other European leaders. And there are people in the U.S. Government, too, who benefit from this endless war. They want it to keep rolling. They want to roll right into World War III. And so they, you know, when he first got, before he met with Trump, he met with all these other people in the in government personages, and they were like kissing his ass, treating him like a rock star, the stuff he's used to, you know. He's used to showing up, getting treated like fucking Bono, or how Bono used to get treated, and then fucking getting his check and going back to the fucking pauper party, the 24-hour pauper party. And so he's very anxious to get back. Dude, it was just like me at a drug dealer's house back in the fucking aughts. You know, like, God, just give me my fucking shit. I gotta get out. Yeah, okay, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is your friend Steve. I don't give a fuck. Dude, you know? Wow, hero coming through. He's a hero. He's a hero. Fucking tarantula head. But in a rented car, for sure. That's not his car. I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, yeah, it's fucking, you can see it. It's all right there. So then finally, he the first time he kind of mentioned something that got Trump mad, but Trump didn't say anything. He kept cool. He was like, you know, he was insisting that U.S. soldiers will fight, you know, because he really wanted U.S. boots on the ground over there. And he's like, if they, you know, basically what he said, with paraphrasing, is if they don't fight this now, they're going to be fighting. But he was guaranteeing him, he's like, guaranteed, you know, they will be fighting, you know. And which is not true. I mean, that's not true at all. I'd love to get over here, but, you know, just being prevented from that by all this fucking crowd of people that suck. All right, so the little kid was fine, but they, you know, I shouldn't get mad at people. They're fucking, they're soulless fucking shells in the shape of human beings. Most of them, 95% of them. But so he was insisting that they are going to fight whether they like it or not, you know, and Trump's like, what the fuck? But he still remained cool. So then finally, what really snapped off the thing that most people, the point that most people started watching it, was when they were talking about the ocean, you know, between I think Trump brought it up. He's like, well, it really doesn't affect Americans. You know, we have an ocean between us, but we still think it's good to, you know, put an end to this killing because your people are dying. And the whole thing, so then she's like, it's important for us to see that America is on our side. And Trump kept going like, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm on the side of peace. I'm in the middle of you guys. You know, I want to end this. So being here today with the Americans on our side, you know, he kept like fucking right in his face, just talking over him and ignoring what he was saying. So finally he brings up the ocean thing, and he was like, you know, you have a great big ocean between you now, but eventually you will feel it. You will feel it. It's like that thing when someone comes by and says, oh, nice car you have here. Too bad if someone cheated. He's insisting that Americans are going to be faced with this. But he's trying to paint a picture of Putin like a Hitler type figure who's going to just, once he gets Ukraine, he's going to just try to take over the world from Russia. That's not what Hitler was going to do anyway, you know. But whatever, there's a whole separate issue. And Hitler was their guy, you know. He was controlled opposition. He was put there for them to create the circumstances that gave birth to how the narrative post-World War II would be ingrained in our society, to defend people so they can get away with doing a bunch of evil shit and you can't say anything against them. Separate issue. So that's what popped Trump when he's like, it's going to come to your shores, you will feel it, you're going to feel it. And Trump was like, no, don't tell us how we're going to feel. And that's the part where most people started watching it. All these Hughley type people, so they have no context. They just see, you know, Vance and Trump tag team them. Vance the whole time could see all the fucking disrespectful shit Zelensky was doing. Facial expressions, rolling his eyes, pretending to sigh, be like, he watched the whole thing because of the way they were seated. He could see it all, whereas Trump couldn't. So once Trump snapped at him, Vance was like, all right, fuck this guy. Watch him be a fucking, you know, disrespectful asshole this whole time. Haven't said anything. And then they unloaded on him. And that's where D.L. Hughley starts watching it. Fucking washed up old comedian, piece of shit. Fuck that guy. But why am I going hard? I don't like him. I don't like him for a lot of reasons, but it's not because he's a black guy. You know, I mean, that's of course it's part of it, but he's not the main reason. So people just got that little, they just saw that little spot. Most people. And so that's what they're all reacting to. Is at the point where it triggered Trump, and Trump dealt with all this bullshit, you know, the whole time, and he just had enough. The guy was in his face, trying to disrespect him, challenging what he was saying about peace, and early on, Trump realized, oh, he's not here to sign nothing. He's here to put the situation in front of the American people to get more money, to try to strong-arm Trump and saying, well, Putin is bad, here, take the money. And then he goes back to fucking Popper Party. That's what he's trying to do. And again, like I said yesterday, it's like Trump has books out about how he deals with people. You know, Art of the Deal being one of them. They should fucking read that shit. Because he explains, you know, how he does it, what he doesn't tolerate, what he notices. Like, there's no strategy, I guess, with dealing with this guy. They thought they were just going to roll in, business as usual. Fuck that, I'm wearing my tracksuit, you know, and that's it. And they thought he was going to move on. And it didn't happen that way. And most people who are commenting about it today have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. But that's par for course. That's for most things. That goes for most things. I'm going to go out a little later and do some neighborhood perimeter walking. Until then, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.